made a few collage papers and decided to just record a quick short, kind of showing the different colors that I made and the different materials that I chose, and decided to pop on here to talk a little bit more about how I chose my paint and starting off as a mixed media artist and some recommendations, because it can get a little pricey when you like to use a lot of different materials in your art. And these are, let me see, let me move this around. Okay, these are some of the paints that I use to use. Well, these are the paints, not some. These are the paints that I use to make those collage papers in different color variations. And like I said, as I was like doing this collage paper short video, I was like, let me just make a live really quick, hop on live and make a video about some options, like cost-effective options. So one of the things that was helpful for me in trying to figure out like what paint mediums I like. I initially started off with watercolors, and um, I was looking for them, but I don't see them really quickly. I started off with watercolors from like Amazon, just like a, I don't know, 36, well, watercolor palette, very cheap, just fine to play around with. In the process of returning back to those watercolors, I was like, okay, I want to try something else. And so I started watching some YouTube videos, and I noticed that I really like um, opaque colors. So I was like, okay, that's more gouache. So I bought this Arteza gouache set, and that was really helpful. It has just some basic, this one is like the skin tone one. So it just has like a few, oh, and this purple, just like a few options that you can mix like and make skin tones with. So I started with these gouache, and I didn't like them, but I feel called to go back to them. But I didn't like them. I wanted to keep looking for something, like they didn't move on the paper the way watercolor did, but I like the opaqueness of gouache. So I'm like, well, what's in between like watercolor and gouache? And so then I moved on to these Kuretake Gansai Tambi, like they call them Japanese watercolors, but I saw a video that said that that's not really what they are. But these are like opaque. They have some opaqueness to them, but they act like watercolors on the paper. So they move, they bloom, they blossom and things like that. So I really like that. So I bought this set first. This is like the Art Nouveau set. I really like the colors that they had in this one. And as you can see, like I used this up quite a bit. And then because I like, the way that these performed, I got this set. And this isn't the biggest set. They have a bigger set of all of the colors. So that's been like my evolution, right? So first, I had these acrylic paint, and then I went to those Amazon watercolors, then the gouache, right? And then to these Kuretake. And these are the ones that I pick up more often than not, like when I want to paint. And so when I was thinking about making collage paper, though, I didn't want to use these for that. But I remembered that I had these acrylic paints. I also had this gouache. And then I wanted to try some, because again, I like opaque, I like matte colors. I wanted to try not a professional grade of matte paint, but I wanted to try matte acrylic paint. And so I was like, let me try to find something that's like, student grade. And I saw that a lot of the art stores have their own brands for different products. And Blick is one of those platforms. They have their stores, their art stores, but they also have their own line of art products. And so that has been a place that's been a little bit more affordable for me. So like if I want to try like brushes, for instance, I've been, and I know this is like a little tangent, but go with me. I want to try a dagger brush, and I don't want to spend, a good amount of money for a nicer brush just to try it to see if I like the marks that it makes. But I know that Blick, they have paintbrushes. They have their own, paintbrushes in their line of art supplies. So what I would do is buy a Blick dagger brush, try it, see if I like it. And if I'm interested, if I like the marks that it makes, then that would convince me, or that feels like more support for why I could spend, more money on a more expensive brush, and try it out and then see how that goes. So back to paint. Yeah, Blick has their own line of paint. The other thing that I like about Blick's line too is that you can get the 2-ounce bottles. You can get small bottles of their paint if you want to try it. I think that these were like, if I remember correctly, I think these bottles were like $2.25 or $3 or something. They weren't over $4 for 2-ounce bottles. So yeah, if you want to try some colors, if you want to try this paint, like I think that this is a cost effective way to, try some decent paint and see how it goes. And so as it relates to collage paper, these are the paints. I use a combination of these, but more, I wanted to use up these acrylic tubes because these are older. So use the I use the majority of these for that set of collage papers that I just showed you. So my goal is to this, get through this tub of little tubes of gouache and acrylic paint, use these to make collage paper, and then use these as well for the next set of collage paper that I make. And then what I'm gonna do is buy more Blick paint. Like I feel good about this paint, especially to make collage paper. Like it's good paint, it's decent paint, and yeah, I can get these small bottles and try colors. And then if I like them, get a larger color. Like this is one that I wanted to try to see, how it looked, burnished copper, and it's actually some on my desk. You'll see. This is that burnished copper on wood. So that's what that looks like. It's a very pretty like penny color. So yeah, I wanted to offer that as a recommendation. So if you are trying to build up your mixed media kit, and you're looking for some good options for paint to try, Arteza is a good company. They have quality products. It's just I didn't like this gouache. And you know, user error as well. This is my first time using gouache. So yeah, and then these art creation are decent acrylic. You know, it's not anything wrong with them. These were just old and I needed to use them up before I could make room, you know, for some other paint. And then definitely the Blick, you know, try it out. Let me know what you think. Do you have these? What do you recommend? What do you use? And yeah, I hope that this was helpful.